Hi everybody, what you're looking at here is a dash cam, and one is facing the driver and one is facing the road. And what's happening there is the driver has put his wallet in front of the dash cam so you can't see him and what he's doing. He's texting on his phone, and he's also looking at Facebook and other things, and he's not paying attention to what's in front of him. And he thinks that by putting that wallet and stuff in front of the phone, or sorry, in front of the cam, that he can get away with what he's doing. And this is kind of what happens here. He he ends up in a world of hurt, and that's not a good driver. That's the kind of driver that gives us drivers a bad name. Now, in my Swift uh, video about the cam facing the driver, that it was bullshit. Okay? Now, in that illustration with that driver, that was done 2 years ago, this accident happened and he killed a cop. In that illustration, the accident itself, he wipes out two cop cars, kills a cop, hits the fire truck, and the whole bit, okay? The level of that accident clearly shows that the driver was either totally intoxicated, okay, and didn't know what he was doing, or he wasn't paying attention to what he was doing and most likely on the phone. Now, in that investigation, they checked his phone, which they will do on all accidents, you know, to find out who was on the phone at the time. There's only the truck driver in the truck, okay? And they're going to check the phone, and sure enough, he was on Facebook and so on and so on. The phone's not going to lie. The phone flies out of his hand also in that video if you go over it a few times. Anyway, the phone's not going to lie. It's going to tell exactly when the texting was done or what have you. And if you're caught in that situation, you're in a world of hurt because it's going to totally go against you. But getting back to good drivers and bad drivers, okay, good drivers don't do that kind of shit, okay? We pay attention to what's in front of us and what's going on at all times, okay? And if we're using a telephone, usually a good practice is to get into a hands-free phone, so that you can talk, but your hands are not distracted. You know what I mean? Or at the very most, push a button and be done with it. Like not have to search through the phone to get a phone number, but be able to use voice command or a button, and that's it. Not without searching all this bullshit. But anyways, that's being a good driver, paying attention to what's going on and what you're doing at all times. And that's the best way to avoid accidents. And if one does come up, such as that, now that was a kind of a tricky thing. Had he been paying attention and didn't catch that because the cop that has stopped on the lane hasn't got a bar light on the car, and they're only using the lights in the back window in the daytime, is not a very bright thing, okay, when you're coming down the road. I mean, he should have seen it. He should have been able to move over in time before hitting the car. I mean, had he been paying attention. But on the offset, okay, that he couldn't get over to the other lane or something, he would still have a lot less destruction in the accident than what this guy did. Okay, this was I mean, there was absolutely no evidence whatsoever of trying to come out of the accident or correct the accident or anything like that, or you know what I mean. It's just totally, this guy was totally oblivious. So I hope I could explain to you a little more about the cam situation as far as it facing a driver, because the cams aren't going to save or solve accidents. That mechanism is already in place. Okay? The cam, again, I'm telling you, is a interference because it is a distraction. Okay, I mean, we don't need all this bullshit distraction. Okay, it's up to the companies to stop their bullshit training. Okay, and bullshit. Oh, do a criminal records check, because a criminal records check isn't going to make a driver, isn't going to make the road safe, has got nothing to do, okay, with anything. The only thing that company should be looking at is the experience of that driver, and you know, how good is that driver on the road, and so on. Okay, like, you know, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, not this wind up, oh, sit you in a classroom, we're going to teach you how to be a truck driver, because if that's the case, you know, that's the wrong end. Because, like, in my case, I started from the bottom up. I didn't start, you know, by going into a driver training school because I got a big grant, because I'm an immigrant and I get this grant from the government. I'm going to go learn how to be a truck driver, and I go get my class 1, and now all of a sudden I'm a truck driver with no criminal record. I'm clear for the highway. I can get across the border and do all this stuff. But I don't think that kind of person has the experience that it takes to be running the weight that we run down highways, or the attention span that maybe some of them are supposed to have if you're doing 14, 15 hours a day, every day, and moving. Always moving, constantly moving. I mean, if you don't have the knack for it, it's going to drag on you, and it's going to be fatigue, what you're going to be fighting next. I watched some videos on snowstorms and how a lot of that occurred on some of these accidents, and it's unbelievable. I encourage you to go and watch them and notice how fast. I mean, the road conditions are terrible, and notice how fast these tractor trailers are coming down the road, coming into this accident. The smart drivers are the ones that have slowed down and saved the truck and everything, and then they get whacked from behind because these guys that are out there don't have the experience of being truck drivers, and they are smashing into other trucks and cars and killing people. And the industry thinks that by coming out with a criminal records check and a drug test and all this make-believe that you're a truck driver crap, based on the fact that here's how you work the books and all this stuff and blah blah blah, and we're going to promise you this and promise you that and blah blah blah. I'm afraid you're overlooking a very important factor, okay? And that is, how much experience has that trucker got before you put him behind the wheel? In what? What has a person done as far as being a professional driver? Okay? How many years has a guy been at it? When, you know what I mean? That's very important. Very, very first important thing there is. And when you get away from all the make-believe ways of hiring people and get down to brass tacks, okay, then we'll get somewhere. But until then, okay, you're going to have very dangerous truckers on the road because they don't have the experience, okay? And a lot of them, it shows up in the wintertime, especially because some of these guys have never done mountains. Some of them have never done winter driving. Who knows where the hell they're from, you know? So there's a lot to be said about the screw that the good truck drivers are undergoing and put up with. So thanks for your time, and do subscribe, keep in touch, follow the channel. We're trying to get things done here. I'm going to have a petition in this description because our privacy laws regarding the trucking industry are completely screwed. And I'm doing up a petition. This video, the one before this, explains more about the petition. But basically, a criminal records check is not going to make a driver. Okay, it's not going to make the roads any safer. It's basically going to put people out of work, and that's what it's designed to do. It's segregating people. It's trying to impress upon the public, I guess, maybe that we've got all these rules and regulations and all these safety courses and everything else, and we're making the industry a better place to be. Well, I'm afraid that's not the case, and that's why I put together the petition, because we need some reform as far as our privacy, because right now we don't have any Privacy Act. They tell us whether or not we have the right to privacy. That's not wrong. I mean, that's wrong. You should have the right to privacy, okay? And until you prove otherwise, keep on trucking. I mean, I'm not against, all this. I'm a green trucker or anything like that. I'm just saying, make sure you've got some experience to be able to do what you're doing and know what you're doing, but these guys that are out there, they just don't have it, okay, as far as what I say a trucker is, okay? And I've been in for 30 years. I should know what a trucker is, or I'm pretty fucking stupid, one of the two. Maybe stupid truck driver. Maybe that's where that expression came from. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay in tune and do subscribe. And until next time, YouTube. Have a good day.